different show. It's a big day in politics, and we're just 4 weeks from Election Day and only 8 days from the final presidential debate. Hosted by our own Chris Wallace, the stakes in the race for the White House could not be higher. Donald Trump was on offense at Sunday night's face-off in St. Louis, and he continues to come out swinging against Hillary with this tough new ad. Watch.
Our next president faces daunting challenges in a dangerous world. Iran promoting terrorism, North Korea threatening, ISIS on the rise, Libya and North Africa in chaos. Hillary Clinton failed every single time as Secretary of State. Now she wants to be president. Hillary Clinton doesn't have the fortitude, strength, or stamina to lead in our world. She failed as Secretary of State. Don't let her fail us again.
Okay, a lot of people talking about that ad today, Eric. Do you think it hits the points he needs to at this stage of the game?
Yeah, you know, I think it's effective. Boy, how do I say this? I think Sunday he decided he's going to take the gloves off and really go for this, and he's got to turn the momentum around because he wants to probably take the attention away from the video, the hot mic video that came out on Friday. But if you notice today, and I'm not sure if it's because of what went back and forth with Paul Ryan over the last couple of days, he's been tweeting aggressively. He says the shackles are off. I can finally do what I want to do. And he's been more aggressive today, last night and today. So maybe he's pushing back on some of the advisors and saying, I'm going to go a little bit hardcore core the next 28 days or so and see if this works for me. It just feels something changed yesterday and today.
Like he's just like a nothing to lose attitude, like let's go all out.
After an election?
Dana, so maybe he's winning hearts and minds of Trump supporters, but is he winning hearts and minds with an ad like that with women, independents, undecideds?
Well, the video does exist. I mean, that did happen when she stumbled at the World Trade Center event on 9/11. The campaign did not reveal that she had pneumonia. She had to later come out and do that. I think they probably knew that that was going to be used against her, except for that in the first debate, Donald Trump really kind of let the health thing go because she did fine. The stamina was there. But that you notice the language in there is basically that she's not only is she corrupt and incompetent, but she's also unhealthy and she doesn't have the stamina, which I think is also probably doesn't play well with women. I would imagine. They're about the same age. They've been on the campaign trail. I think that some people get pneumonia. That's what happens. The ad, it reinforces what some of his supporters want to see. And you keep winning those people over and over again. That's great, and they'll turn out for you. But does it expand the map? Probably not.
All right, so it's all about the Electoral College, right, Julie, and making sure to see, and you saw now 2 states that they say are now leaning Democratic that before were more toss-up. So what do you think about these developments and an ad like this targeted to try and expand his base?
You know, I thought the first half of that ad was great. It was effective. The second half of that ad with this not-so-subliminal messaging about the fact that she's on death's door, that I think Dana's right about, that it's not something that's going to resonate well with women. Again, if she were somebody who'd been off the campaign trail since that incident where she stumbled at the World Trade Center, had she not put in 2 difficult debates where she seemed like she had energy and stamina to deflect from that issue, then I would say that's fair to say, but it doesn't ring true. And what it does is it takes away from the message, the core message of what that ad should be, which is that the world is a mess. Rightly or wrongly, Hillary Clinton was responsible for what's going on right now. And that's something that he should have run on. I would have advised him and his advisors to have left the second part alone and focused primarily on the substantive part of this ad.
So you would have edited and said, stop right there, don't talk past the sale.
Totally, yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
One of my favorites. All right. Tom Shilley, welcome. It's been a while.
It has.
Things good?
Things are great.
You have a beard.
What do you think?
I still like it.
Listen, the talk online, people like it. On Twitter, the talk on Twitter is they like it, so who knows?
It's the rough side to the barbershop quartet.
I am rough, and I like this ad.
Exactly.
I think it's great. This is what political ads do. You take out an ad, you have your message, and then you show pictures of the candidate not looking their best. When do they show their opponent looking their best? They don't. It's when, you know, why is it a women thing? You can't show Hillary not looking her best? Every time you run against someone, you show the candidate, you have all these guys looking haggard and terrible. That's what you do in a political ad.
Exploit the weaknesses.
Yes.
So this is a political ad online, and if you notice, YouTube put a warning on the bottom of the ad.
Amazing.
Like, be careful before you resend this or send this along.
The ISIS part?
I'm not sure. They don't exactly say why.
Probably the ISIS part.
But, boy, I got to tell you, I'm just a little taken aback that they would Warren on a bottom of
Not just Warren, it's not available in search. You have to click on it. It doesn't come up.
What does that tell you?
It also warns you about sharing that ad for some reason. They don't specify why.
That seems sort of bizarre. We're going to investigate that and probably not get back to you. All right. As we mentioned, we're just being honest. 8 days away from the third and final presidential debate at the University of Nevada at Las Vegas, where Fox News Sunday anchor Chris Wallace will be moderating. Now, Trump had some tough lines for Hillary Sunday night in St. Louis. Listen.
People have been... Their lives have been destroyed for doing 1/5 of what you've done, and it's a disgrace. And honestly, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Secretary Clinton, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
If he wants to start, he can start. Go ahead, Hillary. No, go ahead, Donald.
No, I'm a gentleman, Hillary. Go ahead. Honest Abe never lied. That's the good thing. That's the big difference between Abraham Lincoln and you. We have a divided nation because people like her, and believe me, she has tremendous hate in her heart. And when she said deplorables, she meant it.
All right, so what should each of the candidates do a week from tomorrow to sway undecided voters in the home stretch? This is the big question. It is the final debate, but yet the first fair and balanced debate. Dana?
I'm excited
Fox
because
News.
Chris Wallace, you know what, he's got that thing where he has a presence about him. I remember the first few times I had a chance to go on Fox News Sunday. He makes you nervous, it's like a teacher.
It's terrifying.
You actually want to do a really good job. Like you are on notice that you have to have your you-know-what together. And he has that ability to sort of look over his glasses at you as if you better deliver something. There he is, right there.
Looking at you now.
So I'm looking forward to this. And it feels like these have come sort of fast and furious. It was just a few days ago that we had the last debate. The thing is, I think Donald Trump did a lot better in the second debate than the first. I know his supporters loved it that he finally was taken to Hillary Clinton. And whether you care or not, the scientific polls that came out afterwards have him losing that debate. So if the question is, how does he expand to reach undecided voters? I don't know what he does, because at this point he has said he's unshackled. I don't know what that exactly means, but I think that means you're going to get the full Donald Trump on Wednesday night. I would not miss this debate.
The full Monty.
This could break a record. I mean, honestly, because what we've gone through, we had the first debate where Hillary won, the second debate where a lot of people say either one of them won. There was a Wall Street Journal poll, I think, that had just... It outlined post-debate. It had prior to the debate, the last couple of days, but also just post-debate. And the number was the same. They had Clinton leading by 7, which they had Clinton leading by 7 prior to the debate and all that stuff as well. The point is this. The third debate could be the final opportunity to make your final decision. You don't want to miss this. I didn't like Anderson Cooper and Martha Raddatz arguing and fact-checking and almost debating Donald Trump in debate number 2. I just didn't like it. It felt awkward to me. Chris Wallace has said he's not going to fact-check. He said he's going to let the other candidate fact-check the candidate who says something wrong.
Yeah, do your homework and defend yourself.
That'll be fun to watch. Let them go at it. Let them fact-check. Let them argue who's right about whether the red line was drawn while she was Secretary of State, or how many barrels of oil that we still import or not, or some of the things that Donald said. Let them do it. I love that idea better. What's the record now? 100 million? What 100 million? We could break a record.
Close to it. Yeah. You know what I think he needs to do? He needs to reshackle himself, because what he did right in the second debate, if he did anything right at all, was the second half was more substantive, and that's where I thought he did better. The first half, I know his base loved. I know when he started trotting out the women, the base loved it. Nobody else loved it.
His Obamacare answer was great.
But yes, that's what I'm talking about. When he was talking about substance, that's where I thought he did well. When he was talking about women and then your husband did worse and you're a liar and you've got hate in your heart, that kind of stuff, people don't like. His base loves it, but nobody else loves it. So if I were in his shoes, I would reshackle myself. I would get a hold of some policy briefings before this next debate. Of course it's not. No, of course it's not. But that's what he should do.
That sounds a little Pulp
I'm not saying, yeah, well,
50 Shades of Grey, Julie.
Well, what he's talking about is 50 Shades of Grey. I'm suggesting he put away the 50 Shades and maybe talk about things that real people care about, which is not 50 Shades, but more about how their lives are going to be improved under President Trump versus who Bill Clinton may or may not have slept with back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
He's got a winning case to make, though, just on the issues alone. If people care about the economy, he is more trusted to be able to make advances and put the economy back on the right track. You can talk about Obamacare, like Dana said. Tom, you can talk about national security and the failed foreign policy of Barack Obama.
Talk about immigration.
Secretary
he
Clinton.
owns her on immigration.
Yeah.
Just go there.
That's what his supporters like, too, but he's got to start getting the lean towards me versus lean towards her.
And it may be a head fake, this whole thing, the unshackled, he's putting it out there, he's got the tough ads. He may be setting it up. He likes to set things up and then go in another direction.
Wait, are you saying there's a pivot coming? Because I've been waiting for this mythical pivot now for a year. This is it? This is the pivot?
Well, look, that first debate was a little bit of a pivot. I thought he was too soft in the first debate. I think he was advised to not attack, and it didn't work for him. It's not his personality.
So while we're entrenched in talking about every twist and turn of this campaign, a few days ago, we passed the budget. We passed a resolution that funds things like fully funds Planned Parenthood, fully funds an expanded refugee program, fully funds sanctuary cities. We haven't talked about it here. We did not do one block on this show about that in 8 days. And this is an opportunity for Trump to say, you know what, while you're worrying about what I said on a bus, how about the money we just spent? We're spending trillions of dollars. We're throwing hundreds of billions of dollars at issues that the American voter probably doesn't want their taxpayer money spent on. He is such an opportunity. He's got to take it, though.
Well, and also now he's been on sort of the elliptical, the debate elliptical, so he's got some practice in, Dana. I mean, he probably is feeling a little bit more comfortable, confident after his last performance going into the
I'm also curious, just given if the polls being what they are, going into that third debate, I mean, you just like go for it.
Let it rip.
Like at this point, like just be himself, do whatever that he feels like he needs to do.
I think he's no longer interested in winning this election. I think he's now interested in destroying the Republican Party and refashioning it in his own image, because his attacks on Paul Ryan and John McCain and so on and so forth, John Thune, all of these people, all it's doing 4 weeks out is splintering the Republican Party.
Here's what you need to do. And if you think that he's going to lose the debate, or if he thinks he's going to lose the election, that brand, what's the Trump brand going to be on November 9th, right? So he has got 28 days to figure out what the November 9th is going to be for Trump, and I guess Hillary has to worry about it too. I guess that's just going to be going back to the Clinton Foundation. But what's Trump going to be, and is he going to risk what he sees as a celebrity brand, a valuable celebrity brand, by doing something like that?
He's already done it.
I'm not sure. Maybe you see, just envision it. I don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea what it's going to be. But certainly I would think that if the numbers are not looking good for him going into that debate, you'll see some sort of pivot towards what he wants to be post-November 9th.
Next on the 5, Dionne Warwick with the Psychic Friends Network. Just kidding. You may know. A programming note. Be sure, and I'm not kidding, to tune in to Fox News next Wednesday for the first fair and balanced presidential debate moderated by our very own Chris Wallace. He's a winner for sure. Only here on Fox News.